You are about to embark upon an adventure that, like most adventures, starts with a story. A story about a night with a hole right through its heart, and a city that was forever changed by what transpired during the Hour Never. Do not think that you've escaped implication in this tale, dear listener. You see, you too played a role in shaping this world. Then again, perhaps you already know that. The city of Vox-Galad stands on the northern coast of a small continent, tucked away in a rugged forest which extends up to and beyond the land's edge. Trees outside the city break apart the waves, protecting its walls from erosion and its citizenry from a really bad case of waterlogged market district. Its denizens drifting to the denouement of their day, a market from ghosts only by the percussive traversal over the city's rain-battered stonework. Any facade of egalitarian bent to its social structure dissolves into the dark. The laborers head to work, while the well-to-do proliferate in a parallel world. On a long and narrow dock carved into the space left by the wood chopped down to build it, workers toil, under fresh orders to unload a high-priority shipment amid wretched conditions, as each crash of the sea seems to make the boards beneath them moan just a bit louder. Upon one of the pallets, a crate begins to shake as the water inundating its pores turns to steam. One worker momentarily takes note, but overextended by his 16-hour shift, writes it off as some sort of fevered hallucination, a strange waking dream. And so the night comes on in full, as across town, guildmasters, capital stakeholders, and other assorted patrons of the arts file into the opera house for a few hours of merriment and revelry. Tonight's show, Una Ballinger, or A Fortunate Soul, is based on a true story about a nobleman who, likely out of boredom, chooses to ship out with a crew of penniless sailors. After leaving the bay, they recognize him and refuse to return to port until a generous ransom is rowed out to meet them. The events take place almost exclusively on the deck of the ship, excluding one lyrical aside at the start of Act 2. Originally a worker's fable, narrative has since been warped into something more amenable to those who can actually afford admission. Its ending updated to show our noble hero ultimately appealing to the company's better nature, safely making it back to land and healing class relations. It is, in other words, a fairy tale. The real events unfolded a bit differently, as the city opened fire on the ship, sinking it just outside the bay. The spirits of the men, rich and poor alike, are said to haunt the forest outside the walls. Another fairy tale, perhaps. What's notable about tonight's performance is that the luxury boxes, jutting so proudly above even the well-to-do citizenry in the mezzanine, are all empty. Elsewhere in the city, a secret passageway closes behind a group of men as they descend into a vestibular staircase, ushered forth by the light of flames dancing intermittently within the chamber ahead. Meanwhile still, a restless congregation gathers at the Eric's Inn. Instead of drinks, unlit torches are strewn across a collection of tables hastily pushed together in the center of the room. A people pushed to its limits tends to smolder like a neglected fire, its embers loosing sparks that each threaten to ignite the very fabric of its social order. Bayrick Patton returned to his home just before 11 p.m. I'd say the job of a city's chief executive is never easy, but that would be a lie. In the case of Vox-Galad, it's often a lark. This particular night, Patton had decided to turn in early, leaving straight from a round of inebriated negotiations with heads of merchant groups from nearby towns. He crossed the threshold of his manor and made his way to the upper floor, crashing immediately on his bed and staring at the intricacies painted onto the vaulted ceiling above him, not knowing, of course, that these moments were to be among his very last. Footsteps rang out in the western quarters, winding through the streets and filling into larger and larger assemblies, finally coalescing outside of Patton's abode. Remembered voices seemed to grow into a roar, while the smoke from the torches appeared to grow heavy and sink to the floor. The last event collectively canonized by the crowd is the light from the moon being snuffed out, smothering the proceedings like a spilled inkwell. Night itself had descended upon Box Gallet, casting its fervor into frenzy. Midnight. Just like that, it was midnight. Smoldering storefronts, smoking storm drains, and a merchant ship still ablaze, drifting feebly away from the dock. These are the images seared onto the waking consciousness of a city that forgot. Forgot when exactly they put the kids to sleep. Forgot what they had as a late supper before turning in themselves. Forgot how it was that the charred body of Bayrick Patton now lay sprawled upon the still-burning window frame of his master bedroom, his upper body suspended upside down above the town square. What we know to be truth is actually just a ceaseless web of correlated perspectives. The more there are to any instance, the more complex the notion of truth becomes. But what if there's only one? And what if we don't know who keeps it? For a class of people used to scoffing at the notion of solidarity, Galagian money closed ranks with an astonishing quickness, forcing draconian edicts through council which sealed the city against those who sought to enter or leave. And, well, I can sense you're ready for me to stop running my mouth. And that's good, because I'm going to leave you in the capable hands of an old friend who owns a tavern in the city's northern hub. He's been talking to you for a couple minutes now, but you're still kind of hazy after that whole citywide amnesia episode, so you have no clue what he's been saying. It's fine. He likely doesn't remember either.
You see an orcish fellow sitting across from you in what appears to be a cozy room lit by a fire, regaling you with the tale of a mural that's holding his rapt attention. You hear the groggy murmur of a crowd on the other side of a wood door. It would seem you're in the back room of an inn. The faint smell of alcohol is being fended off by the much more pleasant scent of a candle placed at the center of the table. Its smoke is partially obscuring the man, but you can make out the silhouette of his balding scalp as it turns, revealing a face as startlingly kind as it is weathered and aged. This is Bragul, you remember. He told you his name, just as you told him yours.
Nice little memento for me. Sorry, so why am I talking to you now? Well, folks, I think you may be wanted for murder. And that isn't my reckoning, so don't give me that look. I emerged about 20 minutes ago from a drunken stupor to just about end them all, and near soon as I was lucid, I heard someone rapping on the front threshold. Peeked outside and saw a few members of the guard going door to door, nailing notices to each as they made their way. Here, just so you don't think I'm crazy, read it for yourself.
He slides you a notice upon which is written the following statement. To the owner of this commercial establishment, be warned that tonight a heinous crime was perpetrated by multiple unknown individuals. More details will be released in due time, but until then it is imperative that you remain vigilant for suspicious figures. Be wary of patrons who fit at least one of the following descriptors: visibly unkempt or tattered garments, singed hair, fresh burns on their skin. If you do identify one or more such individuals, send for a member of the guard immediately. If they look to be a flight risk, move to safely detain them if possible. We appreciate your cooperation and ongoing efforts to keep our city safe.
Oh, well, actually, I guess I didn't need to usher you back here. Then you seem primed to make a dash. But now you can at least see why I asked you to speak with me, and why I can't have you just up and leaving, because then it'd be my ass on the line. I'm sure y'all are fine, upstanding folk who just happen to meet a few vague criteria. And they're probably just going to ask you a few questions and send you on your way. Oh, and here they are now. Just in time, too. I got to get up on stage and play something to wake these folks up. One last thing. If any of you did do it, whatever it is that's being alleged, just do me a favor and don't tell me. Anyway, maybe I'll see you around. Good luck.
All right, folks, you're coming with us. Right this way. Come on.
Hey y'all, how's everyone doing tonight? Gonna play an old one. 2, 3, 4. If magic wasn't real, you'd still cast a spell. If I didn't volunteer, you'd bewitch me just as well. If there wasn't roguery, you'd still prowl the block. If my heart lacked a key, you'd still pick the lock. If our swords, when disappeared, you'd conquer all nonetheless. No armor, shield, or desperate plea could save me from